evening. Thank you for coming. My name is Yuki Fujimoto. Tonight, we would like to talk about appealing hotels of Japan. First, I will explain ryokan. Then next, my partner Yu will discuss about Western hotels. Finally, Miyuki will tell you about capsule hotels.
Through our presentations, you can learn Japanese hotel history, hotel culture, and differences in values. The first speaker is Yuki. She is going to talk about traditional Japanese hotels.
My name is Yuki. I would like to talk about excellence of traditional Japanese hotels. Have you ever heard of a Japanese hotel called ryokans? Ryokans are important for people to understand Japanese values. Through this presentation, you can learn history, hospitality, and customs of Japan. First, I will explain ryokan's history. In the 8th century, Japan had the first strong central government, which made people travel back and forth. So the Buddhist monks made a fuseya. Fuseya was a first accommodation facilities in Japan. Then fuseya offering only beds. A few hundred years later, honjin appeared. Honjin began offering bed and food. Honjin had a great culture based on hospitality, and it passed down part of the Japanese culture. A number of long-established inns developed into ryokans, and it remains today. In addition, there are hot springs. So now I will move on to hot springs history. Have you ever enjoyed the hot springs? Japan has around 20,000 hot springs. So some scientists call Japan land of hot springs. One of the reasons Japan has many hot springs are Japan has many volcanoes. Another reason is Buddhism. The Buddhism preaches the virtue of bathing and purification. So, the Buddhist monks built a yokuto, which is built in each temple, and priests invited people to take free baths. Until then, only noblemen and samurai had the right to their own bathhouse. Later, a law passed, and ordinary people had their own bathhouse. And later, Sento appeared. Sento is a public bathhouses in town, and people prefer to take baths together in a large bathhouse. And they remove daily stress and fatigue from journey. And now I am wearing yukata. At the ryokan, after guests take a bath, guests wear yukata. And therefore, I think the hot springs is indispensable at ryokans. Now, I will talk about hospitality in a ryokan. Hospitality is one of the important Japanese customs. All of the ryokan staff is professional of offering services. Ryokan staff is always thinking about needs of guests and trying to meet their needs. And especially, ryokan had a large staff. Especially, okami and nakai are the main staff. So I will introduce a little bit about okami and nakai. Okami is like a service manager in a Western hotel, and she always manages the guest services. And nakai is in charge of some guest rooms, and she offers services to the guests relaxing in their room. After guests enter the guest room, nakai will bring a serving of Japanese tea and wagashi. Wagashi is a Japanese sweet snack. A custom of serving tea and sweets to guests is one kind of hospitality. This is not only ryokans, but it is a custom which is deeply rooted in Japan's culture. I will move on to washitsu, which is a Japanese-style room. All ryokan has a washitsu. They mainly consist of tatami mats and zataku is a low table, and zaitsu is a chair without legs. And zataku is a low table and this is a very good room. And let's look at the ryokan's garden. The view from the guest room is one of the great treasures of staying at the ryokan. The guests are able to enjoy the panoramic views. In Japan, approximately 75% of land is covered with mountains. So ryokan built to harmonize with nature. The guest is able to enjoy the view peacefully. Now, I will talk about washoku. Washoku is a traditional Japanese food. Washoku served at the ryokans. Japanese foods contain a lot of fish and vegetables, and it is related with Buddhism. As I mentioned before, the Buddhist monks built ryokans. So at that time, Buddhists couldn't eat meat. So Japanese people didn't eat meat for a long time. Therefore, washoku is a little different from other countries. And I will move on to futon. Futon is a Japanese-style mattresses. After dinner time, guests go to bed, and Nakai takes care of putting out the futon spread out over the tatami mats. So guests enjoy sleeping. Finally, I will talk about ryokan's model. There is a proverb, "Sode furi au no mo tasho no en." This meaning is no matter how brief, this encounter is treasured. All of the ryokan staff wish the guests have enjoyed their stay, and will have a safe trip. This is a proud 100 Japanese tradition. In conclusion, there are many ryokans which are an excellent way to experience in Japanese traditional culture. The ryokan, the hospitality and building convey the core concept of Japanese culture. The building shows the process of architectural development, and custom reflects their warm-hearted diligence. By staying at the ryokan, you can expose yourself to what Japanese people have dreamed 100 years. Therefore, I wanted you to learn more about ryokan through this presentation. Thank you for listening. Next speaker is Yu. She will talk about Western hotels of Japan.
Good evening. My name is Yu. You might learn about ryokan from Yuki's presentation. Then, have you heard of Western hotels in Japan? Most of you will not know about these hotels. So, this evening, I'll introduce Western hotels in Japan. Please enjoy my presentation. Let's begin by talking about attractive qualities of Western hotels in Japan. First, in Western hotels, guests can enjoy Western-style rooms, beds, and carpeting instead of tatami and futon in ryokan. Customs are also different from ryokan. Guests don't have to take off their shoes, and they can't wear their night clothes in hotel's lobby because hotel's lobby is considered as public space. These hotels are based on self-service. For example, There is a shower room in each room. Whenever guests want to take a shower, they can use the shower room. This hotel's motto is guest privacy. In Ryokan, there is a nakai who does all services from guest arrival to return. In Western hotels, there is no interruption by other people. Next, I'll talk about the history of Western hotels in Japan. In 1853, Admiral Perry came to Japan because he wanted to start trading between Japan and other countries. After the trading started, Japanese realized that they had to build Western-style hotels for foreigners. After then, the first Western hotel in Japan, Tsukiji Hotel-kan, was built. This was the beginning of Western hotels in Japan. Next, these are common points of Western hotels. Staff, such as housekeepers, bellboy, and security, is important person to run Western hotels. There are some useful services, such as room service and laundry service. These styles are familiar to business people because they use Western hotels rather than ryokan during their business trips. Next, there are some differences between Japanese and American hotels. First, the biggest difference is tipping system. In America, tipping is one of the customs, but in Japan, guests don't have to tip because it is already included in the bill. Second, breakfast style is different. American breakfast is common style in American hotels. On the other hand, in Japanese Western hotels, guests can choose American or Japanese breakfast. Third, public bath is not common in American hotels. On the other hand, in most Japanese Western hotels have public baths. Guests can use it for free. That's all to talk about features of Western hotels. Finally, I'll introduce two famous Western hotels in Japan. These hotels are Imperial Hotel Tokyo and Super Hotel. First, Imperial Hotel Tokyo is most prestigious hotel in Japan. I'll introduce some facilities. First, this hotel has bread bakery, so guests can eat fresh bread every morning. Next, there is a post office in the hotel. When the hotel was built, letters were only way to keep in touch with other countries. So this hotel decided to build post office so that guests can contact their family and friends easily. There are 13 restaurants in this hotel. Guests can eat French, Japanese, and Chinese food. This hotel is also famous for buffet-style restaurant. This hotel started buffet-style restaurant first in Japan. Finally, there is a gift shop in this hotel. Guests can buy sweets, foods, and bread made at the Imperial Hotel, and they can bring them to their house as souvenirs. Surprisingly, many famous people also stayed at this hotel. In 1932, Charles Chaplin stayed at this hotel. His favorite food was beef steak. Whenever he stayed at this hotel, he ordered it. In 1937, when Helen Keller came to Japan for the first time, she stayed at this hotel. Next, I'll introduce Super Hotel. This hotel is less gorgeous than less gorgeous than Imperial Hotel, but guests can stay at this hotel with reasonable fee. This hotel has over 100 chain hotels in Japan, so this hotel is designed for office workers and students. There are some attractive services. First, guests can choose a suitable pillow and mattress from many choices. In addition, guests can choose breakfast style, Western or Japanese. Finally, I'll introduce Japanese hospitality, which is called omotenashi in Japanese. They always consider how they can do so that guests can be comfortable. You can see that clerks keep smiling all the time if you stayed at Western hotels in Japan. They also care about personal items in the room, such as towels and toiletries. If guests forget to bring their items, they don't have to worry about it because great variety of items are prepared in the room, as you can see in the picture. This is one of the examples of Japanese hospitality. In conclusion, Western hotels in Japan are a mix of original system of Western hotels, Japanese customs, and Japanese hospitality. If guests stayed at Western hotels in Japan, guests can feel comfortable. Please try to stay at Western hotels in Japan if you are interested in. You can be comfortable. Thank you for listening. Next speaker is Miyuki. She will introduce Capsule Hotel.
Thank you, Yu. Good evening, everyone again. My name is Miyuki Murotani. I'm going to introduce Unique Hotel of Japan. Doesn't it look like a museum? Or even a mortuary? No, it is a capsule hotel. Japan is one of the developed countries of the world, and business plays an important part in Japan. And the hotels become valuable to office workers, and the capsule hotels, which look like coffins, were established in 1979, and since then, they've become popular in Japan. A reason why I'd like to talk about capsule hotels is getting to know about capsule hotels is a good way to learn about Japanese culture and values, because capsule hotels reflect many aspects of Japan. This evening, I will cover 3 points about capsule hotels. First, the history of capsule hotels, which includes the development and the customers. Second, the capsule hotel stay, which includes the facilities and the rules. Third, cultural value differences, which includes the different view of personal space between America and Japan. First, I'd like to talk about the development of capsule hotels. The first capsule hotel was introduced in 1979, and it was often used during Japan's rapid economic growth. And capsule hotels became more popular after the period, because office workers lost their jobs and they had to look harder to find a job. Capsule hotels satisfied the need for inexpensive shelter at the time. Second, I'd like to talk about the customers of capsule hotels. Capsule hotels have different tastes from other kinds of hotels, so not everyone likes to use them. 99% of customers of capsule hotels are males because there is not enough security for women. For example, there are no doors on capsules. Capsule hotels are used mostly by office workers and students. Why they like to use them are office workers often miss the last train or last bus, so there is no way to go back home. And students like to use them because the rate of capsule hotels is inexpensive. The rate is about $30 per night. Third, there is a big difference between customers of capsule hotels and ones of ryokans. People go to ryokans for special treats because they can eat delicious food and they can enjoy beautiful view. On the other hand, people go to capsule hotels for practical reasons. They don't call for any entertainment. They just want to sleep and save money. Next, let me discuss the capsule hotel stay. Capsule hotels are unusual, so there are special facilities and rules. First, let me mention the facilities there. Capsule hotels have special kinds of containers which are called capsules, and they are arranged in a small space. And in a capsule, there is a little equipment, only a blanket and a pillow. Outside of capsules, there is a shared bathhouse or sauna. Some capsules have a television or radio, but it is harder to use them because the walls are very thin, so it is easier for people to hear noises, like snoring. So there is little entertainment there. Second, I'd like to talk about the general rules of capsule hotels. The way to use capsule hotels is very easy because people just go in a capsule hotels without making a reservation in advance. And after checking in, people can do whatever they want because there is no service there. However, there is a way to behave. The most important thing is to be quiet because the customers of capsule hotels just want to sleep. They don't go there for fun. Next, let me discuss the cultural differences between America and Japan, because the difference, especially the view of personal space, can change how people react to capsule hotels. First, let me mention the American values I observed. On trains or in buses in America, if there are no seats to sit on, people think it is crowded. And if they are pushed together with each other, people think as if they are not humans. In addition, Americans think personal space in hotels is the most important thing because they need a space to move. These aspects of American values influence Americans to think capsule hotels are like coffins. Second, I'd like to talk about Japanese values. The Japanese attitude toward crowds is different from Americans. Japanese have more tolerant. Even though trains or buses are too full, people can understand each person has a purpose like business, so they can be patient and they can cooperate with each other for a while. In addition, Japanese have tendency toward smallness. Japanese products are getting smaller, like cell phones, and they like to reduce any waste from everything. And it happens to capsule hotels, so there is little equipment there. These aspects of Japanese values affect Japanese to accept capsule hotels more easily than Americans. The cultural difference between America and Japan make people have various opinions about capsule hotels. In conclusion, you can see capsule hotels are in fact established for practical reasons, not just weird, strange, or interest curiosity. And capsule hotels are connected to Japanese cultural values, reducing any waste from everything to succeed in business. Thank you for listening.
In conclusion of this presentation, you could know there are 3 kinds of hotels: ryokans, Western hotels, and capsule hotels in Japan. So if you come to Japan, you can choose one of them depending on your needs. Finally, you could learn through the presentation, you could learn origin, tradition, and diverse values of hotels.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation about appealing hotels of Japan.
Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Have any of you worked part-time jobs at a hotel?
The question is, do we want to work? Do we want to have work part-time job at hotels? In my opinion, I want to have part-time job in hotel because I can maybe if I work at hotel, I can learn manners or hospitality. So it is important to my future.
Yeah, I want to work ryokan because ryokan has a very good food dinner. So I can eat dinner, very good dinner, and I can enter the hot spring anytime. So I want to work here.
I want to work at ryokans because as you and Yuki said, like I can eat delicious food and I can learn manners. I don't want to work at Capsule. Yes, ma'am.
Is there staff at the Capsule Hotel?
The question is, are there any staff at Capsule hotels? Yes, there are some staff in Capsule hotels, and they are taking care of everything.
Yes, sir.
Is the Capsule Hotel, is it about as big as this room with all the little capsules in it?
That question is, how many capsules are there and should be here?
How many would be in this room?
The question is, how many capsules here?
This would be this room.
In my guess, I think there would be more than 300. No.
100? Yeah.
No, sorry.